What's going on, guys? Joey Franz here at Flex Training Systems. Today I have like about 17 random lines of text where I'm going to answer questions that you guys dropped in the Instagram Q&A. I noticed there are a lot of newer followers, so I wanted to answer the questions. Thank you so much, Skoda, for the Prime sub. We are here with the Twitch chat. I know it's been a little bit, but starting from the top, grip for deadlift. Now, I've taken these questions and I've made them really, really simple, but I kind of know where the person's coming from because a lot of the questions were like more expanded, but I just made them small for my brain. Grip for deadlift. The person was basically asking, what are some of the best ways to work on your grip for deadlift? And I've heard a lot of different things, but in my experience, I've always gotten the job done. Like like you guys gotta understand, you're talking to someone that's taking someone from the bottom and brought them to the top, right? And then all the times that I've done that, what gets the job done is simply holds. Simply holds. You don't need to do anything extra. Just throw in some holds at the end of your deadlift training. It could be on your single. It could be when you're really, really beat up at the end of your sets. It could be in the beginning. It doesn't matter. But if you know you're going to have some grip issues, just start working them holds. And what I've been really working on with especially, you guys know Big Jesus, right? He pulled freaking 400 kg the meet before the last one. We kind of got away from that a little bit. So what we've been doing, and you guys can do this too, is you take like stupid lightweight, right? Like not stupid light, like I would say RPE 6 or below type weight, above 50%, so whatever that's going to be for you, and you just work holds with something like that, and you just like, all right, I'm going to take this weight. So let's say I take 405 and I go, I'm going to lock out 405 and I'm going to do it just like I would do my single in a competition. And I'm going to practice that. Maybe you have a second day where you do deadlifts, throw some singles in and just work on grip. That is going to translate to your big singles. Knees locked, shoulders back, grip locked down. I love doing holds. You don't really need to do anything else. If you're actively training your back, like bodybuilding style, you're going to do a lot of grip already, like if you use your hands and actually hold the bar with your hands. So that's pretty much it. I don't like to do anything else. I suppose I'm still not sure yet if doing something like a hex bar hold or hex bar deadlifts. I mean it's got to carry over some, but it's just different. The angle at which your hands are being stressed are slightly different. So, but I would imagine it would help some. Next question: how do you coach so many people at Nats? A lot of practice. I actually was going through some videos, and I have footage from me. I believe it was in 2000. I think it was 2014. It was a USPA state meet. I think it was in like San Luis Obispo or something. And I remember that day I had 8 people going at the same time on 4 different platforms. And that kind of like trained me. Like I've been doing this for a really, really long time. So like the only difference between doing it at a local years ago versus now is that there's a lot more on the line, but I have a lot less emotion in terms of like I'm not nervous, so I could just be like bang 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 bang, just knock it out. So it's just constant preparation. Like anything, you could ask this question to anyone that is like decent at something. Like how did you get decent at that thing? I just practiced it over a long period of time, and then it became second nature, and I just was always critical of myself, and you work your way up to it. Also, having a team, like having Will, Mikey, Chris, and Tina there to help while I'm just focusing on the platform is really, 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 really important. Um, because in the past, I remember like when we used to have prime time at night, and then we would have a morning session right after. Sometimes prime time runs late, and I don't go to bed till like 2 in the morning, and then I have to wake up at 6. It's not gonna happen, and I don't want to coach someone if my brain is mush. So what good am I gonna do to them? But when I have helpers, then I just make sure that someone experienced for that person is with them, and everybody's happy, and everybody gets taken care of. So having a team is really important. Shoulder pain in the bench press. I mean, okay, I get a lot of questions that are like, someone just asked me today, like, hey, like, my foot hurts. Like, what do I do? You know what I mean? So, I'm just gonna give an answer for this. That might be it, but it might not be it because obviously I don't know this person. But if you're having shoulder pain in the bench press discipline, then it's possible that it's coming from your squats. Meaning, if you train the low bar squat and the bar's whipping a lot or whatever, and maybe you're not too used to low bar or whatever, or you're doing a lot of squat volume, it's possible that all that stress on your back, is just really pulling on your shoulders and creating a lot of pain in your anterior delts. It could also possibly be a bicep tendon, which actually runs up into the front of your shoulder. I know it sounds weird, bicep, but your shoulder hurts, but like that's what it is. So I would say if you squat heavy close to heavy bench sessions, maybe move it and see if it helps. Um, and if it doesn't, then it's probably from your bench press. In which case, take a look at your technique, see how far past your midline your elbows have to come. How much are you pulling on your shoulder? Because when you think about it, if you're coming down so far back, right, in the bench press, you're kind of like in a little bit of a compromised position, especially if you're not tight. If you don't have, like, even if I just try to, arch a little bit and push my shoulders down, my shoulders feel a lot safer versus like when I'm forward like this. So just make sure you have good form. It could be from your squats. That is just an answer. I don't know for sure. And like anytime you ask a question and just get like say, hey, this hurts, um, unless that person works with you, that's gonna be really hard for them. So yeah, that is tough. Tough to give you like a perfect answer, but maybe it's your squat that's messing up your bench, right? Anyway, condition for work and be successful in powerlifting. Thank you so much for the follow. So basically, what this person's asking is like they have a job that's very demanding physically of them, and they have to maintain a certain level of like cardio. Is that going to prevent them from being good at powerlifting? I would say eventually it may. Um, Depending on how stressful that outside job is. Powerlifting is extremely demanding, especially the more like the closer you get to your potential, you're going to have to do less of everything else and more of just powerlifting because you're going to need all your recovery resources to go into powerlifting. So I would say you can do powerlifting to an extent, but you're going to reach a breaking point and then you're going to start to get injuries. So I would just say start conservative and don't add more volume in unless you can absolutely handle it, and just be mindful that you're taxing your system as a whole. You know what I mean? You can't you can't just like only account for powerlifting. You got to keep in mind you work 8 hours a day. You got to keep your conditioning up, things like that. Next question. So this person was basically asking like height and weight for weight classes. So basically saying like, all right, if I'm like 5'11", what should my weight class be? If I'm like 6'2", what should my weight class be? And I always try to look at the best lifters, like look at the top five in every weight class, and there's your answer. Like look at their height. And for a lot of you guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be a tough pill to swallow. We don't really have any 6'5" super heavyweights that are like super dominant. We don't have any like 5'10", 83s that are super dominant. You know what I mean? So it might be a couple inches off, but you just gotta. If you're younger, it's okay to be in the lower weight class, but over time, like if you look at the best 120, Dennis, he's like about my height, right? Maybe, yeah, he's about my height, maybe slightly shorter. If you look at Mikey, uh, Bryce, Ashton, they're 5'8", 5'7", 5'6". Um, and then you just go down the list. 93s, Keiko 5'6", I believe. Uh, I think majority of that class is pretty short. There are some guys that are tall, but they don't belong in there. You know what I mean? Like they definitely should move up. You are going to have anomalies here and there. You have your 5'9", 5'10" John Hacks that don't make any sense, but I mean they're usually freaks, and you can't compare yourself to like the 0.00001%. Strongman and powerlifting off season. Personally, I think strongman is just like way too dangerous. If you want to lift and do things for fun, being the best powerlifter you can be is probably not for you. You can be a power lifter and do some strongman in the off season. I could see it being beneficial to certain people, very durable, big people. It's possible. Um, but I mean, like I would, if you were to do it, I would want like specific strongman movements that carry over to powerlifting stuff. Um, in my opinion, I'm just not a fan of moving fast with heavy weight. I don't like that. It's part of the reason I don't like CrossFit. I don't like moving fast with weight. It's too dangerous. I would rather you just do like slightly less powerlifting and slightly more bodybuilding, or slightly less powerlifting frequency and just don't even do anything else extra besides like anything low impact. You just got to think long term, and what is it, what think about what your opposition is doing when you're not doing anything. You know what I mean? Or like if I had two lifters, one was doing strongman for 4 months out of the year and then powerlifting for 8 months, and then another one was doing just straight powerlifting. It would have to be bigger, like 6 months and 6 months. I'll probably lean towards the powerlifting person. But I don't know. I could see it going both ways. I just the it's such a broad thing. Like, what strongman stuff are we talking about? You know? All right, stuck on bench. This person was benching 4 times a week and they hit a plateau on bench. They don't know what to do. I think a lot of people when they train a lift, they just do like a set amount of volume and they don't, or just do a program and they don't understand that like in order to move your lift up, you need to like there has to be fluctuations. You need ups and downs. You can't just like do the same stress all the time and expect numbers to go up. It'll work for a little bit, but you have to either pull back and then come back come back to it, or you got to maybe add a little bit more. But I do believe if you're deloading once every 3 to 6 weeks, something like that, and you're maybe benching 4 times a week for a block and then bench 3 times a week for a block, and you're kind of like going back and forth, it's possible that you'll have enough fluctuation to trick your body to get stronger, as opposed to just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to bench 4 times a week all the time now. Then again, you could make that work too. It just depends how you dose it. So try doing less temporarily and then go back to what you're doing, and then you could also try doing slightly more if you're super durable and you don't think you're going to get hurt. But hey, man, you take that with a grain of salt. I don't know anything. USAPL or USPA, that's a tricky one. Obviously, if you're drug free, you're probably going to be better off in USAPL because you can compete with people that are similar to you. They do a lot more like drug testing, and on USAPL, you're gonna have like good competition based on your level, right? You're gonna have like 5 people that are really close to you, and it makes it very competitive. Whereas in USPA, I don't really see this. Um, Maybe here and there. I don't know, man. It's been a long time since I've been in USPA, but I think USAPL is a little bit more strict and a little bit more rules. USPA is a little bit less strict, a little bit more, they're not as formal. They're very flexible. You can get I'm pretty sure you can get refunds for your meets if you have a good reason. Like if you get hurt or something weird, they'll just put it towards your next meet. Whereas like with USAPL, I think it's like no refunds. So it's just like a little bit more rules, a little bit less rules, but then the little bit more rules could lead you potentially to a higher level. Um, Versus USPA. In my opinion, USPA is an amazing place to lift if you just want to lift and do like a nationals and never go like you don't really care about anything after that. USPA is great. USAPL has a very very hyper competitive nationals. It's also very popular. I think they're both fine. You got to understand though that the standard of lifting. I think yeah, USPA actually has good standards in terms of like depth calls and things like that and rules. But the 24-hour weigh-in is a lot easier on the lifter. The deadlift bar is a lot easier on the lifter for most lifters. Texas power bar, Texas squat bar, you can debate those. The equipment that you're gonna use. So I mean, I don't know. I think if you're a beginner, um, honestly, it doesn't really matter. But I do like the hyper competitiveness in the very very young weight classes in USAPL. I think they do a good job with teen nationals and collegiates and things like that. Um, how does USAPL choose best lifter? So there's multiple different formulas. I think right now we're using IPF good lifts. There's just a formula that they use. Personally, just personal preference. Maybe it's because I'm a OG. I liked Wilkes better because when I was in the sport, Ray Williams, Jesse Norris, and I believe his name is I forget his first name, but Fedorchenko, the Russian Sergey Fedorchenko. Like those guys to me, I was like, these guys are nuts. These guys are like so top of the top, like super strong. And Wilkes had those lifters very, very high up there. Um, and now we have another formula, good lifts, that kind of makes it. So, for example, there's a competition coming up, and they're doing it like best lifter based on good lifts, and it's comparing males and females as well. Well, if you're a super heavyweight male, like you're probably not winning that. There's no shot. 120, you're not winning that. You know what I mean? It's like, can you total 3,000? Like, if you total 3,000, maybe you have a shot. It's just like I'm exaggerating, but like, you know what I mean? Like, formula is gonna alienate someone. There's no perfect formula, so it just, I don't know. I don't like formulas. I don't think you should compare them across like that, but I don't know shit. So, um, advice for your first meet: just do it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's definitely not gonna be your last meet. You're gonna learn. Just go in, do your best. Whatever mistakes you make a list, and then improve on those mistakes. And then next meet, you'll get better, you'll get better, you'll get better. Tina just screamed at me, don't cut weight. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know why people cut like that. It doesn't make any sense. If you're not going to be taking records or top five or something, it just doesn't make any sense. You have fun lifting, just hit PRs. The earlier on you are in your career, putting on muscle and getting stronger is going to be so valuable for the rest of your career. So just do that. The faster you can gain that valuable gold muscle, you know what I mean? You're gonna be better off. Does the belt improve your bench? Not for everyone. For me personally, that was a new question, by the way. Does the belt improve your bench? For me personally, yes, because I have a long torso. Putting the belt on just allows me to. It's sort of like numbing. I don't feel the weight as heavy in my hands and on my chest. It helps me stay a little bit tighter. Um, it truly does benefit me. I cannot lift anywhere close to what I can lift with the belt. I would say if you are a bigger guy, a bigger person, let's say your body composition is a little bit more on the higher body fat percentiles, then yeah, try a belt. It's probably gonna help you a ton. It helps me a ton. It's literally a cheat code. Like, I don't think you guys understand how useless I am without a belt and wraps. Like, I could bench like 405 without it, and then with it I bench like 470. Would you rather coach natural or enhanced? Personally, it's just a lot easier to coach a natural lifter because I could pretty much control most of the variables that are involved, and the ones that I can't, I'm aware of. Whereas with an enhanced lifter, there's just too many things that I don't understand. There's too many things that I don't get. There's risks. Is the programming making them stronger, or is the shit they're taking making them stronger? It's just there's too many factors. So I would personally, I would prefer natural. But if the person was like, "Hey, I'm on prescribed TRT and I can't, like I have to be on this," I would entertain that because it's a very controlled variable. You know what I mean? It's not like a million different things that nobody really knows what they do. So anyway, do you only coach those who want to compete? The answer for this was different in the past, but me personally, at this point in time with flex training systems right now, if you're gonna work with me, it's got to be someone that's serious about lifting, that wants to reach that next level. They want to be the best they can be. They're focused on competing at nationals, competing at a high level meet. Um, Me personally, yes. Now, if you just want to do the power lifts and get stronger at them, and you're thinking about competing, but you're not too serious about it, you don't put too much in it. Maybe it's not a priority to you, like super priority, like, you know what I mean? Um, I have other people who are slightly less qualified than me that are on flex training systems that have me as a resource that can absolutely help you. So the answer to your question is no and yes. All right, now that was pretty much that for informative stuff. I hope you guys are able to take something away from that. If you don't care about what I'm going to talk about next, which is going to be these right here, go ahead and drop a like, and you guys go hit the gym, do whatever you got to do. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. But if you want to hear the answer to these questions, one of them, which I just realized I didn't even look up, right? Then stick around. All right, what do you do when you're sad? Then we need to take a sip of this for that. What do I do when I'm sad? It's not often. sad, like true sadness, like something I can't control is happening and it's bringing me, it's just crushing me. Like serious, like not like I watched a show, but like somebody's hurt or something like that. I try to do whatever I can to solve the problem, if I can, and if I can't, and I just gotta wait it out, then I just try to remind myself how lucky I am. I try to count my blessings. I feel those feelings, like literally feel those sad feelings, like go through it, feel the feelings, be sad, um, understand why you're sad. Why do I feel this way? What is good from me feeling this way? Is there anything I can do to improve the situation? And if I can't, and I've already gone through that, and all the action, the feeling, the action, whatever is done to try to get through it, then once I understand that, you just got to give it time. But I would say I try to do things that help me, just the normal things I do that balance my mental brain. Um, just leave reality for a little bit. I'll watch a show, I'll watch an anime, I'll play video games, I'll talk to my friends while playing video games. I'll vent to someone I care about that understands me. I will just pass the time somehow. Sometimes sleeping on it can help. You go to sleep, you wake up, you don't feel those feelings as bad. It takes something external to give you those feelings again. Um, but that's really just really counting your blessings and then understanding why you feel the way that you feel, and being really cerebral about it, or um, how can I say, like, thank you so much for the follow. Like, how do I say? You're very aware. You're very objective. Like, okay, I feel this way, but why do I feel this way? It's the same thing when I'm mad or anything like that. If I'm super fuming, I try to look at myself from the outside in, like, why am I pissed right now? You know what I mean? Because if you're pissed, you're gonna do irrational stuff. Um, for PC specs, I have to look it up, and I don't want to pull the screen up on here. So I will just tell you that I have a shit motherboard, but I have a 3070 um, in my PC, a GeForce RTX 3070. Um, it's pretty damn strong. I think I have like 16 gigs of RAM. I used to have 32, but Tina is currently using that computer, which is in another room. Um, but yeah, I'm actually gonna look it up after. But just know 3070. If I have that video card, that GPU, you guys pretty much know that I'm gonna have some beef in there. All right, NBA Finals. Who's gonna win? I would like to see the Suns win. I don't have too much stake in it, to be honest, but yeah, I would like to see the Suns win for some reasons. Favorite anime? Shit, man. You guys, there are a lot of them. There's a lot of them. That's why I put it on here, and it was like, what are my top three, top five? I'm just gonna name five, but they're not like any order. I'm just gonna name five. So, JJK. If you don't know what it is, just look it up. The Fate series. I fucking love the Fate series. Vinland Saga is a sleeper. The only reason why people don't know about it is because it's on Amazon Prime only, and not a lot of people know that there's Prime Video. Um, Hunter x Hunter, super OG, but like I really really enjoyed that show. It had one of the best ending arcs I've ever seen, and Demon Slayer. Just throw it in there, Demon Slayer. But there's too many. Currently watching one right now that's also nuts. You know what I mean? There's so many good ones right now. I think anime's moving more towards like Dragon Ball My Hero and more towards insanely depressing life lesson story. You know what I mean? Anyway, that was our quick. It wasn't even that quick. That was our nice little Q&A. I just want to knock those out. I hope that was, if that was useful to one person, I'm good. You know what I mean? If you made it this far, let me know in the comments down below. Let me get a hashtag. You know what? Just tell me if you've competed USAPL or USPA or none. Tell me in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.